Welcome back to another Cube video. My name is Edward, also known as Strategy. Let's hope we can open a piece of power. I won't complain if it's a Mox Emerald, but it would be nice to be something else. It's always the goal when you play Powered Cube, obviously, is to open up something nice. We have gotten a few Mana Crypts. Can't complain about those. Let's hope if we do open up a Mana Crypt, it's early so that we can prepare for it. Always that last person. So it looks like we are wrapping up the Arena Cube online. I've had a blast. I hope you've had a blast watching. Hopefully you got some of your own games in, but you know, some people don't want to put any money onto Arena, and that's perfectly fine. Hopefully that this is an avenue you can kind of live vicariously through. All right. So, we don't have power, but we have a few goodies. Vampiric Tutor isn't the most exciting first pick. However, it does become a second copy of any card in your deck. If you take the Vampiric Tutor, you very much so want to have like an I win the game button. An I win the game button could be this Natural Order, which is another card I'm kind of looking at. We've been pretty successful with Natural Order decks. And then the last, maybe not last, I'll talk about a couple other more, but Psychic Frog is probably the pick I'm going to choose here. We haven't had too many decks featuring Psychic Frog. I think maybe one. If you don't know, Psychic Frog being able to be a discard outlet for when that matters, growing the frog and being able to jump, killing planeswalkers and the like and drawing cards off of it. There's also Retrofitter Foundry, which I don't want to first pick, but I do think it's a very powerful card. And then lastly, the other card I would consider is Animate Dead. I don't think Animate Dead or Vampiric Tutor will wheel. Maybe Recurring Nightmare. But those are cards that I'm kind of thinking about. Gloom Lake Verge isn't a terrible one. But I'm gonna take the Frog. Okay, there's a Deep Cavern Bat. There's our best friend Sylvan Safekeeper. We've had a lot of success with that one as well. There's a Deep Cavern Bat, which I do like. I also like this Prismatic Vista. Obviously there's a Fable, but I really don't want to go into 3 colors in the first, you know, 2 picks. We did pass a lot of black. Maybe one of those good black cards comes back around. We'll have to see. But I'm going to take the Deep Cavern Bat. We have not been able to play with Deep Cavern Bat yet. Oh, my best friend Phantasmal Image. You know, notably, Phantasmal Image can copy Psychic Frog. If this was Underground Sea, I would consider it. But because it is not, I kind of want the Phantasmal Image. I recognize that Phantasmal Image is not necessarily pack 1 pick 3able, but we have a couple things I don't mind copying. Obviously I would love to copy a Frog, but I don't mind copying a Deep Cavern Bat if I really have to, and nothing else in here really excites me that much. I'm kind of building up, so I don't want to be rude to the rest of the table. Okay, there's a Wishclaw Talisman, a Yawgmoth's Will. We're not really into that. We can be. I mean, we have a Deep Cavern Bat and whatnot, but I'm kind of liking the Narset. I think Narset's a little bit more open. I want to take that. I could also see taking the like the Shock basic land that was there. Okay, there's a Mystic Confluence, a Ponder, a Dig, Fire Covenant. Do we want to be Grixis, or do we want to keep with the blue? I'm gonna take the Mystic Confluence. I just think it's very powerful, and I wouldn't mind playing a control deck for once. We kind of tried to do that before. Okay, so there's a Tishana's Tidebinder. I think that's just the best card in the pack for us. I could see the Galvanic Discharge as well, but I'm going to take the Tishana's. Alright, sorry about that. I had a small technical difficulty. Luckily, we had plenty of time on the timer to kind of get around that. I kind of like taking the Scrubland, but, or maybe even this, you know, let's take the Persist. I was going to say the the Survive Triumph, or not Survive Triumph, the tap land I had hovered for a little bit while I was figuring out that technical difficulty. I don't hate either, but we don't currently have like anything big for it. Which you could argue the persist the same way, but you know what? I'm going to take the persist anyways. I think it has higher upside. Anyways, this Water Grave is fantastic for us. I don't hate the grief either, honestly, as you can persist it. But Water Grave is premium when you have Psychic Frog. Okay, we have another blue-black land. We have a recurring Nightmare. Maybe we do try to do something fun. Maybe I don't mind flipping a Deep Cavern Bat into something else, potentially. I don't... If this was a fetchable land or a fetch, I would take it, but I don't really care too much about that. Okay, Trumpeting Carnosaur is a way we can persist something into play or even Recurring Nightmare it back. I don't hate that. Valky I'm not really interested in. There's a Burst Lightning. I think I'm going to take that. I like the Takenuma. If we're going into this kind of strategy, it can get back like a Psychic Frog. But we're kind of dipping our toes. This doesn't need to be red. This could be 5 colors, whatever. Doesn't matter. We don't have to cast it. But Trumpeting Carnosaur definitely gives us a reason to play Burst Lightning. I don't like anything here, and this isn't a pod draft, so I'm going to take the green fixing just in case. I'll do the same thing. We can kind of splash green for free now if we ever care to. Okay, there's a Necromancy. Is there anything else? Consult the star charts is very powerful. I also like Daze. Oh, Currency Converter with Psychic Frog, though. I guess it's just Psychic Frog, so maybe Necromancy is actually still better. Plus, you never know. If we can get like a Go for the Throat effect or something, we can kill their thing and Necromancy it. Plus, sometimes they have their own discard. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick by the Necromancy pick here. Black Cleave Cliffs would be a nice wheel if we could get it. Ooh, a Twister? Okay, I don't... There's a Bitter Triumph. I mean, Twister is Twister. I don't think I've been able to draft a Twister deck. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, I mean, dumping your hand and then Twistering on the Psychic Frog can just kill someone. Plus, we have the Narset. So I think Twister is definitely the slam dunk pick there. Okay, there's a Flash. There's a Time Spiral, which is similar to Twister, although be it weaker for us. There is a Frantic Search. But you know what? If I take the Flash here, I'll be a little bit more interested in playing things like Trumpeting Carnosaur and maybe even like an Atali or an Atraxa or something. And then God forbid we get like a World Spine Worm. It's too bad we know we're not going to get a Vampiric Tutor, but we can still maybe get a Mystical Tutor. Snuff-Out's also very strong. I didn't recognize this art at first. I'm still going to take the Flash, but Snuff-Out is a very strong pick here as well. We're speculating on this Flash, of course. Oh, okay, there is a on-color fetch. I don't think I can take Gut over that. I don't think I would want the Gut anyways. I can't really abuse it, although this is... I'm surprised this hasn't been taken yet. Yeah, I'm just going to slam dunk this Bloodstained Mire. It's a Grixis land. Ooh, into Badlands? Or do I want Jace? Badlands might wheel. I think I'm leaning towards this Jace. Okay, now we have a Chain Lightning. That's my first impulse pick. We have a Torsten, a Sundering Titan. Those are both nice flash targets. There are better flash targets, and I don't have to play Torsten. I mean, Torsten's a nice one, but we're not going to have that many creatures. Obviously we're going to have lands, but I'm going to take the Chain Lightning. I think I value that a little bit higher than a Torsten. Notably, Torsten is on the Arena Cube now, which is... Or, I'm sorry, on the Arena Client, like, permanently now, which is really nice. Okay, we have a Knight's Whisper, which I really like. We have an Unholy Heat. I think it's between those two. We have a couple removal now. I'm going to take the card draw spell. I love Unholy Heat, but with Burst Lightning, Chain Lightning, and then discarding Trumpeting Carnosaur, I think I like that a little bit better. Okay, so this is an Is It land. It's also a dam. Kind of don't like any of this, to be honest. I'm going to take the Restless. No, I'll just take the Triumph. Okay, so Currency Converter did come back. Notably, there's also an Overlord. Do we want the Overlord? Not really. I'm not really looking to pay double red. And the Currency Converter will be nice if we can assemble it with Frog. Okay, Bitter Triumph did wheel. That is fantastic for us. I need to make some merch with the word fantastic on it. I find myself saying that a lot when I rewatch these videos. Alright, well, at least we're not waiting on me anymore. That makes me feel a little bit better. Oh, there's an Abrade on the wheel. That's actually really nice. That's a gift. I love Omnath. Maybe one of these days we can build an Omnath deck. I also like Nia, but I don't think we're into that right now. I would like to get either a Trax or a World Spine in Pack 3. We haven't seen either yet. And I would love some more fixing, because this is not enough. Not if we want to play these red 1-drops. If we got some more like black interaction, which Snuff Out's already gone. I also wouldn't mind a couple more counters. That would be nice. Okay, we have a life death on the wheel. That's nice. I will take that. I definitely want some more fatties now. We have a couple ways to discard. I wouldn't mind an Entomb. Sure, we'll take the Concealed Courtyard in case we care about splashing white for some reason. And a Traxa would definitely be a reason to splash white, but I think I only need the one. Sure, we'll take the Instone, why not? We're not going to play this. Alright, Pack 3. Ooh, there's a Force of Will. So Toxic Deluge on the wheel I don't hate, and then a Creeping Tar Pit, and that's about it. Okay, well, we didn't get power, but you know what? Force of Will is a hell of a card, and we have a bunch of blue cards in our deck. So I don't think we've gotten to play with the Force of Will yet, and I'm kind of excited. Let's get that in there. Okay, there's a Bone Shards, a Grim Monolith, even a Fairy Mastermind. Darkslick Shores. I mean, Bone Shards does go with our Currency Converter, and we're not really a Grim Monolith deck. We really need to focus on fixing. Yes, I see this Darkslick Shores, but I think I'm going to take this Bone Shards, and that'll be our last piece of interaction. Maybe I should pass it in retrospect. Not in retrospect, we're still in the moment, but we do have a bit, and this is likely to wheel. Let's just do what my insight is telling me to do and just take the fixing. I hope the Bone Shards wheels, though. I really do. Okay, Fatal Push is a decent reward. Oh, wow. I was going to say, Fatal Push is a decent reward for passing the Bone Shards, but the important part about Bone Shards is that it's a discard outlet, like for the Currency Converter, and if we can get a fatty. But yeah, I think this Borogoyf is a slam dunk pick here. I'm definitely not going to take Fatal Push over it. I think I'm just going to be happy to take a Borogoyf. Also, notably, reanimating a Borogoyf is not the end of the world. Okay, so... Oh, there's a Woodfall Primus. I was going to say, I thought this was Woodfall Primus for a second, realized that it wasn't, and then... Oh, look, there it is. I also like Dark Ritual here. If we don't have to have the Flash in our deck, but Flash Woodfall Primus is pretty strong. And although it's not the best reanimate target, I mean, it's something. There's also Sheoldred. Maybe because we have the Time Twister, we just take the Sheoldred, actually. Even over the Dark Ritual. I do like the Dark Ritual, but yeah, let's take the Sheoldred. We have a Time Twister. Let's build a Time Twister deck. Okay, I do like this Lotus Petal for us, but there's also a Collective Brutality. I mean, at this point, we can't really lean into like the reanimating aspect unless we're just like reanimating back our own things. I mean, paying 3 mana for a Sheoldred versus 4 is all right with the Necromancy. We're definitely not an Upheaval deck. I don't know. I just really like this Lotus Petal. I want to take the Lotus Petal. If we had like an Atraxa and maybe one other cool card to reanimate, I think I would consider The Collective Brutality. There's a Dark Confidant. That's actually not a bad one for us. We don't have too many high drops. It's also a cut down. And notably, there's also a Raucous Theater. Let's take the fixing. Again, I really like this Blood Tithe Harvester, but we only have the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Ooh, okay. Vaultborn Tyrant's not a bad one. There's also a Go for the Throat, though. I'm not interested in Faithless Looting at all. Spellbomb would be decent for, like, the Baragoyf. Probably not gonna... I don't know. Let's just take it. Whatever. We'll have a little bit of fun, I guess. Not really into Nethergoyf, but it is a creature for Recurring Nightmare, I suppose. There's nothing else in here I really value. There's like a Pillage of the Bog as like a tutor, but I don't want to play green. I don't think we're going to play the Nethergoyf, but we'll see. Okay, notably the Quarry Steelcutter did come back, but we're not a red deck. Really? Like, or I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to trigger this often. I don't know why I said what I said. I don't really like any of these. I'll take the Quarry Steelcutter, but I don't think I'm going to play it. Okay, Bone Charge did wheel. Ouroboros, or Ouroborid. Thought this was an L the whole time. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bone Shards. I really wish we were able to get something else, though, but maybe these will work out. We'll see. Let's take the stage, why not? Okay, Woodfall Primus did wheel. That's actually kind of nice for us. Okay, I feel a little bit better about our flash now. Channel. We'll take the Bob. Sure. Okay, let's see what this deck looks like. It would have been nice to get the Dark Ritual, but I really like the Sheoldred pick because of the Time Twister. Okay, so this is 46. Yeah, 17 lands. That all seems semi-appropriate. This is our only Is It land, but not the end of the world. I am kind of glad we got the Raucous Theater. Okay, so... Oh yeah, the Lotus Petal. Yeah, we can treat the Lotus Petal as a spell, that's fine. So, notably, all of our big creatures are non-legendary, so this Persist is actually going to be decent. Persisting the Woodfall Primus isn't great, but it's there. So where's the Nethergoyf? I don't want to play the Nethergoyf. I'm not going to play the Recurring Nightmare. I just don't have enough creatures I'm willing to sacrifice. Baragoyf's not going to be too great for us. But you know what? We have a Phantasmal Image, and that's kind of nice. I feel like we're going to lean pretty heavily on this Force of Will if we can draw it. I also don't mind having these extra discard outlets, because it's just like if we draw these, we can just get rid of them, which is nice. We need to make 4 more cuts. I don't think we need a Braid. And how many Reanimate spells do we have? Because we really don't need that much. We have 2? Okay, that's probably fine. And of course we have Twister. Another cool thing about Twister is that we have Psychic Frog, so we can exile cards in our yard that we don't want to draw off the Twister. Oh yeah, we have the Life Death too. I think I can shave Persist. I think I like Life Death a little bit better than Persist. Because Life Death can get back Sheoldred if we need it to. Now, notably, Life Death can't get our opponent's yard, like Necromancy, I believe, can. That's funny. There's a scroll. This card is so long, it needs a scroll. That's hilarious. Yeah, from a graveyard. Sorry that took so long. I was fascinated by why it was cut off and then realized you could scroll. That's so funny. I really like having the removal, but you know, we have a couple other ways for removal, so do we have to play the red? I mean, it is our last two cuts, and we can just splash red for casting Trumpeting Carnosaur. Because this is still a blue land that Bloodstain can get. I guess so is Watery Grave. I would still play this. I do like these cards, but yeah, I don't know what else to really cut here. I think I like everything else. I can consider cutting one of these. Maybe I just cut the Vaultborn. If I cut the Vaultborn and then maybe cut the Chain Lightning. It is more damage, but it's sorcery speed. And we do have Bone Shard still. Okay, let's cut that. Okay, let's cut that. There's nothing else in here I really want, I don't think. Then let's cut the Chain Lightning. I do like the Chain Lightning, but we did get a couple other black cards that I do really like as well. Oh wait, why there's forests in here? I'm so glad I caught that. I don't want those at all. I am so glad I caught that. I think we have more black than blue. Yeah, barely. See, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 red sources. Let's increase the mountain count by 1. It's not going to be great. It's definitely a case for keeping, like cutting this, maybe bringing back in the Nethergoyf. But I like having a Burst Lightning, and we don't have to have it on turn 1, of course. So let's just try this out and see how it goes. Didn't get hardly any counter spells. I did see a Daze I could have taken, and I'm not sure much else. It is kind of weird that our counter spells are both 5 CMC. Of course, one of them is 0. Excuse me for the yawn. Okay, that's a turn 1 frog. We're gonna do it. This is one of the reasons why I really enjoyed taking the Lotus Petal there. This was like the ideal situation I had in mind. And let's hope that they can't do anything about it, and maybe we even top deck a Time Twister. Well, that's not good. Raucous Theater. Absolutely not. Okay, a Bitter Triumph's not the end of the world. I don't think I'm ready to start discarding cards yet. I don't want to show that my hand is weak, even though we know it very much so is. And if we can last another 2 turns, we will have Mystic Confluence up, and then I will feel very confident. I might even be dark confident. Did it? I'll see myself out. Ooh, a balance. I mean, I think I'm willing to just sacrifice my hand, except for like a couple cards maybe. So let's burst them. I don't need too much. I don't need another mountain actually, so I'll discard the mountain. And then I'll discard Swamp. Let's also exile some things while we're here, because we definitely don't want to draw them. And I think this is fine. Hey, wait a second, land too. I did forget about that. Oh, choose 2 lands to keep. Okay. Yeah, so maybe I should have gotten rid of the Mystic Confluence then. Oh wow, their hand was also not that great. Okay, well that's kind of annoying for us, but you know what? We top decked the land. Oh, Grim Monolith, that's not good. Oh, okay, Jace isn't a bad one. It does increase us drawing a land next turn, which I do like. Let's hope they continue to not play lands, so they discarded some and it's a Fury. I would love a Time Twister, honestly. I would love a land more, just to have Mystic Confluence up, but after they did all this weird stuff, I wouldn't hate having a Time Twister here. Preferably after they tap out. Okay. Well, that's annoying. If they kill the Jace, though, then they're not drawing 2 cards. I kind of think that's worse for them. But sure. And they had to lose their Grim Monolith to do it. Phantasmal Image. Okay. Shelldock Isle. Oh, destroy creature or planeswalker. That's good to know, actually. There's a chance I draw like a Narset, so I really want to do this now. I'll pay 3 life, and I'll just kill this. Death gets back the, whatchamacallit? The frog. And I'm just going to go ahead and image the frog while I'm at it. They've already used a balance. What's the chances of them having something else? As far as the sweeper. Okay, I love this. Please draw a land. Please draw an untapped land. No, stop doing things. I'm at 23 cards. They're at 24. So they will... That's not an untapped land. So they will be able to Shelldock Isle, which is really scary. Because I didn't draw an untapped land. Maybe I just attack with one of these frogs. Yeah, I really wish I had an untapped land there. Looks like I would have been able to punish them. Oh, okay. Tap all creatures, draw a card? Sure. And that means... So put this into play tapped. Okay. I actually kind of like that. It does mean that maybe the Shelldock Isle doesn't have something good under it, or they just weren't paying attention to deck size. I do think that I would have only attacked with one frog to try to draw the untapped land, but maybe I should just jam both anyways. They have been doing a lot of nothing, which honestly kind of scares me. Okay. Maybe that was their draw for turn. Okay, they buy Lutri. Alright, let me untap and get Mystic Confluence. Okay, I feel so much... Ooh. They did just put Lutri in hand. We can kind of get rid of it. But no, I think we're advantaged here, so let's just keep up the Mystic Confluence. Okay, so we're going to choose counter target spell. And then draw 2 cards. Okay. Good game. Ah, so they just didn't have anything. I'm glad I didn't twist her then. Alright, well, when your opponent doesn't do anything... Alright, 1-0. Let's see what happens next round. Maybe our opponents will continue to not do anything. Okay, currency converter into bat. Maybe we find a flash. I am going to jam the currency converter as soon as possible. If our opponent is a black deck with Thoughtseize or Inquisition or something, we're going to get rewarded for playing that. Okay, Verdant Catacomb, go. I am tempted to just get a swamp off this, to just play Deep Cavern Bat. I would like to get... I wish we had, like, a Badlands, which we could have gotten, but I chose not to. Let's see what they have. Sadly, this is templated, that even if they get rid of it, I don't get to keep the card, unlike some of the other effects before this one came out. Okay, they're just... Interesting that they're doing that before they see what I take. Ooh, a Time Walk, Dolthy Voidwalker. Galvanic Discharge. So yeah, maybe I just take the Galvanic Discharge. Although if I take anything else, it means that they have to spend a turn Galvanic Discharging me, and that's probably fine. Yeah, and I'd rather than Galvanic Discharge the bat than anything else that we're going to have. Like, imagine they spend their next turn to do that. Okay, they do play the Dolthy, that's fine. Okay, we got the red source anyways. Let's... Night's Whisper. I know they get the Night's Whisper. We need to be careful, because they will start getting whatever we cast. And notably, Dolthy Voidwalker does beat our currency converter, which is annoying. But you know what? We have the Bone Shards, and if we top deck a black source, we'll even have Sheoldred. They have a Subtlety, but they'd have to pitch cast it, which is fine. Okay. Yep. Now if we can top deck a Frog, we're kind of in the clear. I would love a Flash, though. Flash would be pretty cool, because we would be able to Bone Shards the Dolthy and then Flash. Yeah, so I think maybe taking the Dolthy there. If my line of force them to use the relay on the bat, then I think I'm supposed to take the Dolthy there, because we lost 3 points of damage. But that's something I just didn't calculate at the time. Mox Ruby, okay. Alright. Ooh, Force of Will. Okay, that doesn't do too terrible much for us. Do we just give up on the Flash to play the Bone Shards on the Dolthy while they don't have any blue mana, and then we can get the currency converter going? I'm gonna do that. If I get the wait, that shouldn't work, right? Does that work? Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. Maybe it just triggered because I was like the act of discarding, maybe. But I would love to draw a black source. I guess technically any land here, because I can put it under the currency converter and make a treasure next turn. And then I have Sheoldred into Force of Will. I'm going to discard almost anything else, but let's go ahead and do this now. Hopefully they don't have a Hull Breacher. That would be devastating. Well, I did say almost anything else. But, I mean, Frog, Force of Will is nice. See, why couldn't I do this in the opposite order? I'm going to play around Mana Leak. I think it's kind of free to do so. Okay, that resolved, which is nice. It might mean they just have removal, but... waiting until my end step. Consult, not kicked. That is fine. We did know that they had that. We also know that they have a subtlety and chose not to use it. I guess they didn't have double blue, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, notably we cannot Force of Will that, and I'm not willing to discard out of Force of Will to do this. We have a 2-2 with the currency converter, and we can even just keep drawing if we want. And now next turn we have Mystic Confluence, and any reanimate spell that we can draw will just allow us to replay these. Okay, that's a card to discard. I don't hate our position. I do think that they probably have some reanimate effects, and if they do, I'll just have to Force of Will. Not Force of Will, Mystic Confluence, but okay. Let's draw. Hopefully we draw something. We did not. Discard that. Take action. Ooh, okay. We did get the reanimate. I think we just Necromancy the Sheoldred, honestly. And notably, they can't Subtlety the Sheoldred, which is kind of funny. I hope they don't have a Crocus. That's going to punish us if they do. Okay, they're just going to flash in the Subtlety. That's probably fine. I can bounce it later if I really need to. They can attack us for 6, but we're going to gain 2. Like, this is a losing battle as it sits, and if they do animate the Creeping Tar Pit, that's totally okay. Oh, do they have a, that's kind of annoying. That's sick. Okay, luckily there's not too much in our deck that can punish us. We already have the Woodfall Primus that's gone. I mean, famous last words, but if we can get through this Shinobi hit, I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, awesome. And we didn't want to draw those anyways. I mean, I guess the Lotus Petal would have been a 2-2, but... Sure. If we get to untap, I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to draw a card and discard a card literally just to gain 2 life here. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Dark Confidant goes to the currency converter. We gain more life. Let's attack. I am going to play the Swamp because it plays around. It can help the Mystic Confluence play around a Spell Pierce, and we even have the treasure to do a Mana Leak still. And they are dead very quickly now, which is nice. And we have Mana Confluence up, which they have a ton of mana, but even if Mana Confluence is just pay 9, I'm okay with that. They are running out of time. They can't animate Tar Pit to block the Sheoldred, but... Ooh, a Grief. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can do counter. No, I guess it's not really that important to do. Okay, let's just Mystic Confluence. Let's do return, draw, draw. Yeah. And then we have 2 shots to find a blue card. If we still care. Okay, we did find a blue card. Yeah. I was going to say, I like our position there. I would probably just let them continue to grief. I'm glad they didn't just go straight to attacks, although I guess it would have been the same result. Mystic Confluence is a pretty powerful spell. 5 mana is a lot, but it does 5 mana worth of things, and I think it is better than Cryptic Command used to be. It's definitely better than Cryptic Command nowadays. But like Cryptic Command used to just be like the premier, just amazing, like modern staple. I don't think anyone thought it was ever going to rotate out, so to speak, like power level wise. Okay, we do go first. We do have a Tishana's. This is slow, but our deck doesn't really do anything. Like we don't have like, I'm gonna keep this. We don't have like a 6. Like we don't have a mulligan to like a mana crypt or anything. But anyways, to finish my thought, I really do think that this Mystic Confluence is just incredibly strong. I'm just gonna play this Watergrave now. If they have a Wasteland, they have a Wasteland. Arguably, I would prefer it if they just reset the game. I could see that being wrong, but who knows. Okay, next turn we do have a Tishana's. It's too bad we can't just get their fetch land here. That would be nice. But you know, if they for some, okay, they did get an Elegant Parlor, so they're probably on Boros. Okay. Yeah, they are confirmed Boros at least. I was gonna say if they just play fetch land go again, then I don't hate that. Okay, Jace would have been nice last turn, but that's fine. We have a chump attack, or not a chump attack, sorry. A trade on the Tishana's if we really want to. Okay. Oh, Lelia? Yeah, we're gonna definitely. I could Phantasmal Image Lelia, but I think I'm just going to counter its trigger and then block it. And hope they don't have like a Pyrokinesis. Let's counter the Glimmerland's trigger. Because they went land Mox, I think. No, they haven't played a land yet, but that's fine. Let's counter that. It also turns that off, but I'm going to block, so it's not going to matter. Okay, they did get rewarded for not playing their land yet. Oh, do they do have the Pyrokinesis? That's kind of brutal if they have it, but whatever. Okay. They gave up a Goblin Bombardment. Alright, so now I have Jace into... Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I have Jace into Phantasmal Image. Let's Phantasmal Image first. Click on it, please. Let's see what we get. We got a Mountain. And then now we're going to play a Jace. And then we have Mystic Confluence up next turn, and I feel very happy after that. We are going to take a chunk of damage, but if we can live through this turn, I like our chances a lot. I almost don't even want to attack with the Lelia. Oh, no. Okay. Well, I like our chances a little bit less now. Do I just jam the Sheoldred? That Pyrogoyf was incredible for them. And Pyrogoyf can't kill Pyrogoyf. I could attack with Lelia, see what I get. They block, and then I can Necromancy the Phantasmal Image and kill their Lelia. Is that better than just bouncing their stuff and hopefully they can't burn me out? I'm going to play the Sheoldred, I think. Which means I'm going to leave back the Lelia. I can go to 7 whenever I want, but that's kind of negated by the fact that they have more creatures. That Pyrokinesis was really strong. Alright, please don't have another burn spell. They had a Sarah Paragon, that's so good. I am giving up on this Jace, which is fine. We did get to eat their Goyf. That's nice. And then we get to bounce their Lelia. They have a Sarah Paragon, but they can't get back the Goyf, and we can bounce the Sarah Paragon. Do we have hope? We can also just kill the Paragon post bouncing. Okay. Oh, a Twister? They're just dead. Okay. Good games. Yeah. Okay, that's why we put Sheoldred in our deck. Alright, that was nice. I didn't think we were going to get that one. Time Twister. So nice. I was going to say, I was just going to attack, see what they did, and leave the Mana Confluence up. Okay, we do have a Flash. We don't have too much going on with this hand, honestly. But we have Phantasmal Image to copy something that they do, if they do something too aggressive too quickly. And if we can trade off, we can even Necromancy later. So yeah, I'm going to keep this. I would love to see Trumpeting Carnosaur for once. We haven't seen that one yet. Again, our deck doesn't have like explosive starts, so mulliganing doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I do wish we had a little bit of removal here, so if they play something and that we would like to kill before we play Narset would be nice, but... Okay, unless this is a Frog, I'm glad that they seem to be playing something here, because if they just had the two lands up, I would think that they had a counter for our Narset. Baleful Strix, that's fine. I'm okay with playing our Narset into that. I can even Phantasmal Image it later if I really cared. Let's get a Narset down. Let's activate now. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. Well, I was hoping to hit like a Time Twister there. Could you imagine? I could. Okay, and a Frog. Do they have a Bone Shards for our Narset? I don't know why they would play it now if that's what they're going to do. Oh, they're going to reanimate. Okay, maybe they don't remember or don't know that Narset. Because I'm going to have Phantasmal Image that Gristlebrand. Imagine if they didn't have the reanimate there. Okay, that's fine. I would love a Bone Shards. That's not a Bone Shards. I can't minus yet. Let's, sure. I hope this doesn't screw me. Oh, do you have a counter spell? Do you have a Force of Will? That'd be so brutal. Okay, cool. Alright, let's draw 7. Because remember, they can't yet. And there's also a small world that I draw another 7. Okay, there's a Bitter Triumph. That's nice. Oh, and a Bone Shards. I can also flash, but I really want to get that Gristlebrand off the table. And I do think it's worth playing around a Daze. So let's Bone Shards. Discarding. Let's go here. Discarding Mountain. Oops. They got the draw 1. Maybe they're about to scoop anyway, so they might as well see the 1 card. I mean, this is just another reason why I love Phantasmal Image. It is one of my favorite cards for Cube. And also, just in general, I absolutely loved playing it in Vintage as well. So yeah, let's go to discard. I can draw 7 again to try to find Force of Will if I really need to. Let's end the turn. Let's discard Island. Is it really Jace? It can't be Jace, right? Maybe it is. My Gristlebrand will block their Frog if they attack the Narset. If they attack the Narset with just the Baleful Strix, that's fine. Okay, that does kill the Gristlebrand. That is annoying. So there's no point in trying to get the Force of Will off of it. I think I'm just going to let this happen. Now, if they have another way to reanimate Gristlebrand, that's going to be kind of annoying. Just because they have a 7/7. We do have a Bitter Triumph. So our Narset will be dying. We don't have another blue source, but we will have a 5/5 Trampler. And then this Bitter Triumph for their Psychic Frog. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna Bitter Triumph the Emperor Bones now because it's gonna hit their Gristlebrand probably. And if it doesn't, I can Necromancy Phantasmal Image if I draw a land, and then Emperor Bones their Gristlebrand anyways. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I could also just Necromancy. I'm an idiot. I can Necromancy their Harvester. That seems good. Oh, they're not gonna attack the Narset? Oh, please. No, don't adjust. Okay, yeah, they realized it. I was going to say, they draw a card anyways off of the Psychic Frog, so there's not a punish there. Alright, well, good news is that we are going to be able to kill 2 of their things if they don't have Force of Will. Which we have our own Force of Will now, so that's nice. Man, not keeping that land was bad. I guess I was supposed to get rid of this Trumpeting Carnosaur. That's really punishing for us. But let's see what this does. Luckily we have a Force back, because it looks like that's what they may have. Okay, no. I wonder what they have. And this does have Menace. So they need a second blocker. Yeah, keeping the Trumpeting Carnosaur was a mistake. I should have kept Island. This has been a fun game. I don't think I'm blocking here. Like, they can deal 7 to me. I wonder if they had days this whole time and we just kind of got to play around it. They have Time Walk. The last card is Time Walk, like after they discard to 6. I could see that as a reasonable line. Okay, so they have one card left. We have a Force of Will to beat whatever that is. They have to have 2 creatures or they're dead. They could have a removal spell. Sheoldred's Edict. No thanks. Good game. All right. I obviously did not play that perfectly, but I'm glad it didn't ultimately come back to bite us. We could have been better positioned in that last couple of turns had I discarded the Trumpeting Carnosaur and kept the island, but it is what it is. All right, so that's a 4-0 start. Nice. Phantasmal Image pulling some work. It's too bad I already used it as a thumbnail. Oh well. I guess maybe Psychic Frog will be this one. We'll have to see. But yeah, Phantasmal Image is just absolutely fantastic with a PH. Maybe I found my thumbnail name. Well, hopefully we can find a game soon. So I stop rambling. I feel like as soon as I start going into story time, the game's going to start and I'll lose my train of thought and you guys get a half story again. At this point, it might be a connection issue. I know one time it took about a minute and then it just came up draw. Maybe that'll happen again. Yep, that's exactly what happened. The game did not want us to go 5-0. All right, we are back. Arena wanted to have a couple technical difficulties, I guess, but I'm glad that we're still playing. Okay, we have Raucous Theater into Island Night's Whisper, potentially. I don't think I want to burn a Lotus Petal just for Night's Whisper. And again, as I've said before, we don't have necessarily an explosive deck, and this is a functioning hand, so I'm going to keep it. Obviously, I would love a Psychic Frog, but, like, am I willing to mulligan to 5 for a Psychic Frog? Probably not. Where, like, I'm willing to mulligan to 5 for a Mana Crypt. Okay, Mana Confluence Preordain tells me that 1, they're likely a combo deck, and 2, they don't have another land. Let's hope for bottom, although they are thinking about it, so they went top. Okay. Maybe it's another draw spell. And I'm going to play out this Lotus Petal because, I mean, there's these things called Time Twisters that are in the format. And also this can bluff a counterspell or something. Emperor of Bones is fine. I'm going to wait, obviously, till end of turn to crack my fetch. Yep. This means I don't want to put a fatty in the yard, unfortunately, unless... Okay, I was going to say, unless I want to Phantasmal Image the Emperor, and do it myself. Maybe, because I don't want to draw this. I'm not going to keep it on top of my deck. So I guess this just kind of forces me to image here. Ooh, a Force of Will. I do like that. And now I have a Woodfall Primus if they don't interact. Now, sadly, Force of Will won't stop their interaction because Phantasmal Image is worried that if they target... Ooh. I think I'm willing to force this. I'm willing to force this. I think this is a good spot. Feel free to comment if you disagree, but this lets us Force of Will. Not Force of Will, I'm sorry, Woodfall Primus. And prevents them from, like, putting in a fatty and hitting us immediately. Nope. Sorry, buddy, not willing to do that. I do think it's worth Night's Whispering first. Yeah, let's Night's Whisper first. We did find the flash, that's funny. Alright, let's activate. I do like Bat, but I also like Woodfall Primusing here. And just getting it out of the way. Let's hit their island. I like hitting the mana confluence there, kind of. But my issue with that is if it's just there as an underground sea, I'd rather do this. And then now they're at 7 facing down a 4/4. I have Deep Cavern Bat for next turn if they can't punish me now. And then I could even theoretically flash like a Sheoldred. Okay, so now, interesting attack. Very interesting attack. Are they time walking? Is that why? Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that's really weird. Yeah, I think they forgot about the mana confluence potentially. Either way, I'll take it. We're in Diamond now. Yay! Almost Mythic. I am finally going into my days off, and I don't have anything to necessarily do this weekend, so I'm going to try to jam a bunch of games of Cube this time. Also, I do apologize. I'm realizing I had a little issue in the basement, and so we have a dehumidifier going on, and I'm realizing just now, unfortunately, that it's probably going to be annoying in the video. I do apologize if that's the case. If you've been watching this whole time, I really appreciate you for zoning that out, and I will make sure when I start my next video, I will go turn it off. I appreciate you bearing in mind that I am new to this. I'm still learning. I need to make fancier thumbnails. Yes, I'm aware. I just wanted to kind of get off and see how I like doing this cube, or just cubing in general, streaming in general. Obviously, I love cube. And I am liking it. I'm getting some decent feedback, which is nice. That always helps. Ooh, okay. Frog into Sheoldred is nice. Speaking of which. Yeah, we're going to keep this. Okay, at least we have 2 different 2-drops. So, like, they're going to take the frog here, but we have the Jace to follow up. I'm going to play the island. Night's Whisper, okay. Yeah, get that out before I get the Sheoldred down into Bauble. Okay. I'm glad they're not a Lurrus deck. Ooh, a Borogoyf. That's actually a really nice draw. Let's get that Jace down. Jace is more than likely discarding a mountain. We can hardcast a Trumpeting Carnosaur eventually, but I obviously want to keep a swamp. Okay, they have their own Jace. Let's get a mountain down because they know about it. I definitely don't want to play a card that they don't know about currently. And then, unfortunately, their Jace, I think, does get to beat ours to flipping if they can cast any spell here. And then they can target our our Borogoyf. And unfortunately, Borogoyf can only get creatures back that it mills in the current thing, kind of like... No. Well, 6 can only get lands back in the current thing is what I meant to say. Okay, stock up. They are going to... I can't stop that, even if I top deck a Force of Will off the Jace. So they are going to be able to flip their Jace here if they want it, which is unfortunate. It also means they can get back a Night's Whisper, but I don't know if they're going to want to do that. Yep, I'm hoping that they don't have a counterspell up. That would be kind of detrimental. One thing that's really weird about these 1v1 cubes is that just being able to, or not 1v1, sorry, the best of 1 cubes on Arena and like even Moto potentially. I don't think they do that on Moto, but it's just your opponent having the same cards you do is definitely weird. Okay, Murderous Cut is kind of annoying, but you know what? It could be worse. Let's go ahead and flip now. I guess we can't do anything about it. Yeah, sure. And then notably, they can flash this back to Murderous Cut or Sheoldred now. But they'll have to take 2 before they do it. Sure. Alright. Probably going to discard... Okay, no, now we're not going to discard the second mountain. I guess it's Island. I don't like that, but... Ooh, okay, they have a Deep Cavern Bat. Do we want to flip now? Not flip now, sorry, but... Yeah, let's get full information. I don't think tapping this is going to punish us too hard. Speaking of punishing us too hard, Force of Will is kind of a annoying draw here. Do we get rid of the Deep Cavern Bat? I think so, honestly. It's unfortunate that they can just flash back and pay 5 plus whatever they delve on the kill spell for Sheoldred, but I mean, this Trumpeting Carnosaur hopefully will come down eventually. Okay, Time Warp. That's not enough to flash back now, but they are getting getting close to upticking. I think it's 9. Yeah, it's 9. So if they do have to flashback, it means that the Jace isn't going to be as scary for us, which is nice. And Sheoldred kind of had haste there, since they decided the Time Warp first. I really wish we had a blue card. Lotus Petal, notably, would be a decent top deck here, because we get to Trumpeting Carnosaur. But I would also settle for a blue card. Okay, yep, that's going to take out the Sheoldred more than likely. They're probably going to hard cast it. Okay, they are going to delve some. They're going to delve 1, it looks like. Is it a Force of Negation or just a 3-drop they want to play? Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of punishing, but you know what? Tishana's is not bad. Tishana is definitely a way we can hit this Jace, and if they want a minus for the Time Walk, we can counter it. Okay, I'm not going to show that we have the Tishanas. I'm going to see what they do. Oh, Archon. I mean, I guess I'm glad I did that. Alright, let's top deck Necromancy. Necromancy would be so sick here. Oh, this is 3 damage to any target. Okay, I couldn't have killed it anyways, though. Okay. Necromancy off the top, 1 time. Bone Shards? That's not what I want. Oh, man, but that means we're 1 away. I'm going to have to kill this Jace. I don't want them to flashback stock up here, and I think that's worth. Necromancy 1 time. Necromancy 1 time. Imagine if we did top deck the Necromancy there. Okay, Portal's annoying. But now if we hit Necromancy, we're golden. Nope, Archonja is just going to kill us. That's savage. Watch, now we're going to draw the Necromancy. That is absolutely savage. Yep. Well, that's a tough loss. Yeah, that's a tough loss. I don't want to waste time. Yeah, let's just whatever. I wish we could see the top card, but we can't, and I don't want to waste any more time. That was a brutal loss. Oh, man. Just one reanimate spell there. I think we're golden. They would have had the portal if we drew it immediately, so it was nice that we didn't draw it immediately, but oh well. Yeah, I don't think we know what the Trumpeting Carnosaur would have gotten if we were able to play it on time, because their next card was the Dark Slick Shores, so yeah. That's one thing I do like about Moto is that you can like draw the next cards, or at least back when I played it. I haven't played it in a long time. Okay, all right. We have Rogrin Triome into Swamp for Jace, and then we even have Burst Lightning if we want it, and then maybe Narset, and we're on the play. Fantastic. It's kind of a little bit of everything. If they do have a Ragavan, I guess I'm glad I have the Burst Lightning, but I really hope that I get to play this Jace. Llanowar Elves. Well, you know what they say. Bolt the Bird. I just don't want to take a chance. If they go like Sentinel, I'm just going to be so sad. And this gives me a chance to play the Watery Grave tapped. Now maybe I play the Narset. Yeah, I think I'm going to play the Narset here. Alright, let's hit a Time Twister. One time Time Twister. Okay, Bone Shards or Bitter Triumph. We're not guaranteed a land, so I think I'm going to go with the Bone Shard so I can Jace into Bone Shards, if I want. Notably, if we hit, like... I guess if we hit Woodfall Primus, oh my gosh, we get to flash it and then Life Death it if we draw a land. Okay, Sylvan Safekeeper, that's fine. We did draw the land. And they didn't even have a land? Okay. Yeah. Alright, hopefully we draw a land or a fatty for the flash. Okay. They probably held the land. Maybe that was their last land in hand. I would like to draw Woodfall Primus here, though. That might be our best draw, outside of, like, maybe Time Twister. Okay, they have a Fast Bond. That's scary. And they have a Teferi. That's even more scary. But luckily we have Bone Shards. We found a Bone Shards target, because this can only protect creatures. They're going to bounce. Okay, they are going to uptick. That makes me happy. Interesting that they didn't attack. Let's see what we draw. This is tough, honestly. It really is. Because I have to kill the Teferi if I want to cast the Mystic Confluence. Discard a card. I think I want to discard the Flash, because we can always reanimate a Woodfall Primus if we want to. I think Flash is honestly our worst card. I do want to play the mountain, and I am going to say go so we can hold up blocks. It's really too bad I can't get a 4th card in, but I'm not guaranteed to draw a spell I can cast. Yeah. Okay, a fetch land, that's really strong. Now they can go Titania and just kill us. If they do cast the Titania, I'm going to have to Jace and pray that we hit Force of Will. Okay, white, maybe they have a Torsten, but that's not enough. That's 6. Maybe they miscounted? No, okay. Maybe white doesn't matter, and then just because the Teferi was there, it's throwing me off. Okay, that looks like 5 mana for a Titania. That's scary. I'd almost rather it be a Primeval Titan. Oh, Isotol. Yeah, let's try to find a counter. Please draw Force of Will. Nope. That's too bad. And they can kill the Narset whenever they want. Okay, yep, opponent's being smart. They are going to kill the Narset first. And now they can draw cards. They do get to see, like, a lot of their deck. And I hope that they don't have a strip mine, but they likely will. I don't know what we could have to get us out of this. We don't have, like, a sweeper effect. We have... Basically, they mill low and then we bounce their stuff, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, they have a Field of the Dead? Okay, that might just be enough. Field of the Dead's probably lethal. And our Burst Lightning's in the yard. Okay, so if they go to 4, we have them. Maybe they'll go to 4. No, not if they Wasteland us. Never mind. Sweet deck. Very, very sweet deck. Yeah, there's... Sure. I'm going to stop wasting our time. But very, very sweet deck. I hope our opponent had fun. I think our out there is that our opponent forgets about our Burst Lightning. Alright, well now we're back to the wall. We need to win the next 2 to 7-2 this. It is about time this deck lost. I was going to say, I don't think it's a 7-0 deck. But you know what? I wouldn't have complained if it was. Luckily, I'm going to jinx myself here, but I'm going to say it anyways. Luckily, we haven't had to mulligan, I don't think, which is nice. Hopefully that keeps going. Okay, Dark Confidant action, yeah. And we're on the play, that's nice. Probably any blue card stays on top. Definitely not mountain. Or, sorry, swamp. Okay. Our opponent's being unfair per usual. Okay, now that's nice. One, we're not drawing it off Dark Confidant. Not that Dark Confidant draws cards. But two, we have a blue card for Force of Will. And honestly, we might Force of Will if they have interaction. I think this is just going to get a... Okay, I was going to say, I think this is just going to... Oh, not even a, whatchamacallit land. Okay. I am interested in Force of Willing to protect the Dark Confidant, though. Especially that, because that's a pretty premium spell. Plus, we're nowhere near blue. Don't have a swords. I mean, annoying. Okay, yeah, we're going to play this. Let's see if they have another piece of removal. At least we got our card out of it. So right now we're broke even. Oh, really? Okay, at least we have... So we have Bone Shards, and Dark Confidant doesn't draw us cards. Let's get the Ragreen, however it's pronounced. Okay, we have a flash. We are going to draw. Okay. I don't hate that. Resolve. Bone Shards. Discard a card. Discard the swamp that they know about. Play your own swamp. And honestly, I might flash out this Trumpeting Carnosaur. We'll have to see. We are 2 lands away. Okay, this does... Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose an artifact or creature card from it. Okay, so yeah, let's just flash the Trumpeting Carnosaur here. Because they're gonna get rid of it anyways. And we will cast the Barrogoyf, which is fantastic. And then they get to exile probably Trumpeting Carnosaur out of our yard. Yep. Which means they're not reanimating it, which makes me happy. In case you were wondering. Ooh, Phantasmal Image. Oh, it's too bad we can't death our whatchamacallit. Okay, they are going to get to exile, which is kind of annoying. But then we get to kill. They only get to exile 1. It's okay if they do the Barrogoyf. Yep. And then we're going to kill the Wandering Emperor while we have a chance. I don't think I want to image. We don't have much left that's big in our deck. We have Woodfall Primus, but Woodfall Primus would just wreck us. I'm going to hold the image. That could come back to bite me later. Okay. That is kind of annoying. Deep Cavern Bat. Okay, I mean, that is a way to gain life. I definitely don't hate that. Let's see what their last card is. Okay, I'm okay to have that. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just play that. I just make a bunch of dudes, but I guess this also makes dudes. I still don't think I want a Phantasmal Image, unfortunately. I can Phantasmal Image the bat to make another lifelinker, but I'm not going to. We are outdrawing them. Okay. That's kind of annoying. If they take the image... Okay, I was going to say that. Actually, I might prefer that. Because then I can always attack with the Deep Cavern Bat, and if they want to trade... Oh. Okay. Let's see what this draws us. Garbage, per usual. I don't believe I want... Because if I attack them, they attack... Yeah, I just want to leave back. Mother of Runes. That's brutal. Ooh, a Twister. Into Narset? I'm so glad I played my lands. Okay, and we even have lightning for the mother. We might. There's a small chance we kill them. That's funny. I'm gonna minus. Of course, I hit nothing. No attacks. End the turn. I think I'm okay with this. I do think I do. I don't want to die to drawing Force of Will or Mystic Confluence. So I think I am going to let them kill my currency converter here. I think losing to my Dark Confidant here is like the worst thing I can have happen to me. So let's kind of make sure that it can't happen. And if they want to make a bunch of 1/1s... Yep. Alright, well... Yeah, okay, so we would have died if I didn't do that. We may still be dead, unfortunately. Let's see what we find. We find a Bone Shards. Let's attack and see what they do. They should just take it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can get out of this, unfortunately. Only we can cast this at instant speed. Wouldn't that be great? Well, that's the best we got. Dark Confidant did a lot of work, but unfortunately it did not do enough. Oh well, I like that. I like that play. I think inertly it's wrong in retrospect, because if the Force of Will is on top, like, obviously I just can't beat this without a Time Walk. But you know what? I think this deck definitely did well enough for what it was. It just... I wish Dark Confidant would have drawn me a couple more lands instead of the spells that it did. Alright, let's take a look at this deck. Alright, so this is the deck that we ended up with. And a couple things to note. There's a Burst Lightning that I do like that we played. The Trumpeting Carnosaur was like our first early fatty. We ended up getting a Woodfall Primus there towards the end. We got to do some awesome Time Twister things with Shealdred and Narset. That was kind of cool. That was the first time we got to do this on this channel. We ended up not playing the Chain Lightning or the Abrade. I just couldn't find the room for it. And I argued about just cutting all the red basically, except for Trumpeting, since we did have a couple fetchable red sources. And just playing only Trumpeting as a discard outlet that we can reanimate later. But I kind of like this build, and I valued the Burst Lightning over the Chain Lightning simply because it's instant speed. But all in all, it was alright. Maybe I missed playing the Vaultborn Tyrant, but I think it was correct to not play it. Force of Will did a lot of work, and I had a lot of fun with this one. It's too bad that we couldn't close out the 5-0 start, but you know what? We're on to the next one. I'll see you next time. Have a good night.